Good day everyone, this is Marc Anthony Balangueres from BPED 2D. For this video, I am going to answer the given questions in activity number 1. What are the major components of an open loop system? How does this type of control system differ from the closed loop system? Describe how each of the components of the open loop system might function for a person who is tossing an empty soft drink can into a recycling bin. An open loop system have two major components. These are executive and effector. In contrast between these two types of control system, open loop system doesn't have feedback and cannot be correct if there is a mistake, while closed loop system provide feedback, which often called feedback control systems. And it has also the ability to self-correct if there will be a mistake. Another open loop system was done quickly, while closed loop system was done with enough time and even has feedback and time to fix the mistakes. In open loop system, the process begins with the input wherein tossing an empty soft drink can into a recycle bin with how you hold it. And then after that, you will execute the action, which is by tossing the empty soft drink can into the recycle bin. And then the instruction regarding to production of tossing the empty can reached the recycle bin, or that is when the action was transmitted to the effector. Once the action of tossing the empty soft drinks can into the recycling bin is done, the process of open loop system is finished. Second, how do we know that motor program exists? Discuss two of the three types of research evidence that suggest support for the motor program notion. How does each illustrates that individuals plan their movement in advance? Based on what I've learned during the discussion, motor program definitely exists. It could be during the execution of lots of action, particularly those action with brief duration, and usually done in stable and predictable or unchanging environment. For example of these was dart throwing or diving. Next, I'll discuss two research evidence that suggest support for the motor program notion. These are the studies examining the effects of movement complexity on reaction time, and experiments on animals that have undergone surgical elimination of feedback pathways. First evidence we have: when the action is more complex, reaction time would be longer because more time is required to organize the system for initiation of movement. Second evidence: the given animal that they experimented was monkey, wherein this kind of animal has the capability to use their limbs in climbing around the trees and either chasing one another, which is impossible to think that their upper limbs will have a total loss of sensory information, wherein it is clearly illustrated that sensory information has nothing to do with the production of movement, and in fact, many movements can easily occur without a sensory information. Lastly, each individual planned their movement in advance, because though the loss of sensory information does not affect the movement of the monkeys, it doesn't mean that this kind of theory is also applicable to human, meaning every movement of each individual are coming from the sensory information before it is being executed or performed. In other words, every movement of each individual is planned in advance. For question number 3, how do humans produce novel movements? Are such movements really new? Provide an example of a novel movement that might be produced by a shuttleboard player, a professional golfer, an airplane pilot, or a wheelchair basketball player. First, when we say novel movement, these are the movements that are slightly different from those we habitually use or usually do day by day, wherein human produces novel movement through discovering and integrating the usual movement. Next, such movement as novel movement was considered as a new or unique form of movement, because this movement was defined as different from the movement we habitually use or usually do every day, meaning when we say novel movement, these are considered as new when it is done once or if it is seen or first seen movement. For example, a wheelchair basketball player. What comes in your mind when you hear this word basketball player? Yan. A basketball player we know are completely fine in terms of physical aspect. But what if a player in basketball played in a competition or league? There are lots of novel movements he or she could do, especially on his or her physical state. These novel movements that this wheelchair basketball player could possibly do are the following. This kind of basketball player could possibly encounter a difficulty in doing a basic skills like dribbling, shooting, and handling, and etc. Another shooting the ball, stealing the ball, scored a point, make a 3 point. So it's not a joke to play a basketball having in a wheelchair or sitting on a wheelchair, because basketball a very physical sport wherein you might get hurt at sometimes and you might not scored or do the sport well or play the sport well. For the last question or number 4, what is the generalized motor program? Indicate how this concept allows us to explain the way performer adjust their movements to meet different sets of environmental demands. Using the example you selected in the previous question, explain how the generalized motor program might function to produce the performer's novel movement. First, when we say generalized motor program, it is the thought that develop over practice, and also this program provides basis for generating movements. Another, unlike the pattern of the simple motor program, the generalized motor program is one that can be modified or changed slightly after the program is executed. The concept of the generalized motor program was viewed as a stored movement pattern wherein it explained how the performer adjusts their movements. Because by using this program, performers are able to modify or change their learned movement pattern in order to meet changing environment demands. Changes are the only permanent in this world, so we should know or be flexible in these changes. Previous question, I chose a wheelchaired basketball player as my example. Just like what I am saying earlier, generalized motor program is a program that modified the pattern of movements wherein a wheelchair basketball player should be familiarized with the environment and plan a movement that cannot be recognized by an opponent to commit score or to win the competition. Once again, this is Mark Anthony Balangueres from BPED 2D. Thank you, God bless, and keep safe.